try this once again. I tried a couple of videos. The sound was not too great. I want to see if it's coming through now. So, bear with me. Make sure I can hear myself. And it's a little woppy jawed, but I think that's about as good as we'll get. Not enough coffee, obviously. Okay. There, I can see myself. Let me see if I can hear myself. And we will progress. This morning we're going to be talking about ruck yoga. Oh, there I can hear myself now, so that's better. I'll set this off to the side and we'll get started. Okay, ruck yoga and rucking in general, so we'll talk a little bit about that. Equipment, boots, footwear is going to be the most important. So I have, well, I'm doing barefoot right now, so because we're going to be doing yoga. But if you're going rucking, footwear is going to be most important. So boots is what you normally ruck in. If you're active duty, you have all the gear that's been issued to you. But if not, you can use some older stuff. If you're retired like me, you have some old stuff hanging around. But I did get this footwear. They look like Ronald McDonald shoes, but they're ultras. Nice trail running shoes and a good stable platform. Nice toe box, so you're not cramping up your toes, putting them like the running shoes do. Socks, a liner, a silk liner, or artificial material liner, and merino wool or some kind of socks like that to keep from blisters, and keep a patch of moleskin with you in your ruck somewhere to take care of blisters, especially if you're halfway through starting to get a hot spot or a rub. Then you can go ahead and patch that up and still make it back in somewhat comfort, and you're not going to be miserable, because that can make you miserable, your sore feet. So we talked about footwear, packs. You should have some kind of adjustable pack for adjusting the arm straps here. It should ideally have a chest strap coming across the chest, and should have a nice waist strap. This one's has a little bit of padding on it, which is nice, and to keep it, what you want to do is have a nice comfortable fit to work with your posture. Shoulders should be back, just like in like a Tadasana or a mountain pose. You want your shoulders back and hips nice and square, and the weight should be close to your spine and higher up. The more concentrated weight, heavier weight, should be higher in the pack. So you're not, so your pack's not down along your butt here, dragging along and putting pressure on that lower spine, and you're rounding your back trying to make it through. Alright, most of this stuff is things you already know, but I'm just going over them anyway for general purposes. So some of you who are, if you're active duty now, you say, especially if you're Army or Marine Corps, you say, why ruck? I do that. Same thing with why camping, if I do that. But it is good to get out in nature. There's a lot of benefits, which I'll go over in just a little bit. But when you're rucking, I'd say a good weight for your pack would be about 20 pounds to 65 pounds max. So this one's right at just above 20, mainly for demonstration. But I do fill it up and put some weights in there sometimes. I don't have the pack weights, but you can get those. And sandbags, bottles of water, things like that. So that's really kind of the weight, evenly distributed and then centered on that pack. Let's see, so about 20 to 65 pounds. Duration when you're going on a ruck, probably about 30 minutes to 2 hours, like a good cardio session. What's great about it, it can be light to moderate intensity. If you hit and doing hills, it can be intense, higher on the intensity level. You can hit the full spectrum. That's one of the benefits, that it's very adaptable exercise. Let's see, some of the benefits. You're out in nature, you're outside, you're enjoying it. Just like when we did the walking meditation, that's part of it. It's you're getting outside, you're getting in touch, you're breathing fresh air. It's all good stuff. Helps your mental health state as well as your physical health state, especially if you, with your heart rate. You can either do it, like I said, low, moderate, or higher intensities. Anyone can do it. All you have to do is be able to walk and carry something on your shoulders. It's good to do it as groups. You kind of build those friendships and seeing how it packs and comparing notes and building from each other. It's very flexible schedule-wise, having it in your car or truck ready to go. Very dog-friendly. If you have pups, you can take them with you and they like it, especially if you pack some extra treats in there for them. And it is, it can be, well, it is very much exploring. So if you're going on a hike and if you have something like me called next benditis, you want to see what's around the next bend or over the next ridge, you just keep going and keeping an eye on time so you get back on time. So that's kind of some of the benefits. Some key points when you're doing it is posture. Not hunched over. You put the pack on. Like I said, this might be redundant for a lot of folks, but when I put it on, I throw it on. It's on the straps are loose. So I bend over, get the weight up on my back, set it where I want, tighten the straps down, and while I'm bent over here, I'll take the waist straps and I'll tighten them and set them up. I'll take the chest straps and click it closed and stand upright. It should be up high on my back, center of gravity, and in close to the spine with the weight. So we'll see how that works. I had a message flash up there. And then readjust as necessary. So take all these loose straps, tuck them in. Now you're ready to go. Make sure you carry water with you when you go, and your weight distribution is good, and it's a good pack fit. Okay. Torso lengths. They do make different size backpacks, so make sure it's fit. If you have a chance to go to REI, they're really good there as far as getting you measured for a fit. You don't have to buy them there, but you can get measured for a fit. The length of your torso, short, medium, or long. So that's the rucking part. When you take off a pack, I just kind of loosen straps and then slide one arm out and sling it over. Now there's a metaphor I wanted to share with you. I wouldn't be Guru Bill if not. But lighten off the load. I've dropped about 60 pounds of weight, and dropping that makes you stand up straighter. You really appreciate where you're at when you drop that weight. So if you put that in, if you're trying to do any kind of weight loss, you can move that in to that spectrum and say, wow, this feels a lot better taking 20 pounds off my spine and back and hips. Likewise, mentally, we talked about mental health. If you're carrying a burden or carrying stuff around with you, it is really nice to be able to set that down and forget about it, even if it's for a little while. So don't hesitate to take that pack off, set it down, take out the weights, the ideas, the things you've been carrying around for your whole life that don't serve you, and just get them out of there and put good things in there, like your water, your snacks, your dog treats, things like that. So make sure your pack is full of the things you need and cleared of things you don't need. You can walk straighter, you're more buoyant, you're standing more upright, and that's your metaphor for the day. Okay, there's other size packs. I have the survival pack I keep in my truck. It has a water bladder in it to keep it. These water bladders, make sure you have 2 valves, because I had one with these bite valves, and they'll leak if they get pushed open. So you should have a valve to close that up. On to yoga things. Easy seat. We were taught in the tribe instructor training that you can use it. We didn't really go through a whole lot, so that's why I wanted to do this. and just demonstrate a couple things for easy seat. And basically you can use it instead of blocks. So I'm sitting down, I want to have my hips higher than my knees, and so I can roll forward and sit here like this and just be nice and comfortable. Taking a breath, working through all the technical difficulties of trying to do a live broadcast, which was good. Another thing, if you don't have your seat, you can use it to have spacing on your legs. So hopefully you can see that. But I put my right between my legs. And here, if I'm doing forward fold, a wide-legged forward fold, I can come, I reach, I can grab one part of the pack, I can stretch, get a little further, keep my back straight, my shoulders back, and my crown of my head lifted and arcing it forward, reaching. I can reach a little further, go for my carabiner, and just getting a little bit more stretch out of it. So that's how you can use a pack, not only for sitting on or instead of a block, but also for your reach as well. So that's easy seat, seated forward fold. Again, using it as a block, or just regular forward fold. You have different layers depending on how it is. If you're not very flexible, you can set it up on the highest level, like a block, side, or down on the back. And so, inhale up, exhale, forward fold, and palms can come there. Here again, you can use it for spacing on your feet. You can put it between your legs. You want a little wider base. Use it for both. I'll have this, and I'm reaching down towards the back of the top of the backpack, and then slowly bend down. Get my hips nice and stable. Reaching down, pulling a little further, and like that. Working down, like you grab underneath the straps, just like grabbing hold of your calves and pulling your upper body into your thighs. Same thing. If you don't have that flexibility, you can use that pack to do that and do that counterweight to help get the most out of the posture, the pose. Let's see, intense side stretch. If I come in to this pose here. And again, I don't have a strap or something, and I can't make the bind. If I try to make the bind and try too hard to make the bind, I compromise my shoulders, my upper body. And so I don't want to do that. I want to get the most out of the pose. If I'm all crunched up here, I'm focused there, and I'm not getting the hamstring stretch or the glute stretch as I reach tall and then bend over forward. Because I'm focused and crunched all in back here. So you can take that spacing. Again, there's a little counterweight. Just grabbing the shoulder straps here. And look at that. Grabbing it across the shoulders. And then arcing forward. Now I don't have, not all crunched up, so I can focus on my hips. Making a square. I can focus on my reach and my crown and my head. Leaning forward, and bringing the arms up, a little resistance there with the weight of the pack, which I can control by taking things in and out of it. Lean back, in, and I can up and around. Good. If I reset, come into like any twists or for instance, revolved triangle. If I come in, I can use this instead of a block. Reaching down, focused on that, so I can relax. I'm not all crunched in or straining down to reach the ground or another point of contact. I brought the point of contact up to me just like you do with a block. You get that nice stretch in through there. I come up. It helps me with my spacing between my feet. Move it around so I get the right height, so I can still get that good stretch and reach. So that one of the ones I love on this one is doing Pigeon. It's really good for the opening the hips up. Here on Pigeon, it's almost going towards a restorative pose where you're propping your body up. I hope that screen angle is good enough. But when I come in, let me do this leg. So swinging that pack around, bring that leg forward and in. And I'm taking the pack and putting it right behind where I can sit on, leaving that glute back and not really rest it on there, but set it against there. So when I do that, the pressure is not in here, in my hip, down. It moves towards the front, and I can focus on what needs to be focused on. So I kind of get it down there, get that back leg nice and straight, good stretch there. I'm reaching with the shoulders, drawing them back and down to the spine, crown of the head's up, lift it forward. So a little tight here, I just relax back into that pack, take that pressure off, and then as soon as I get that, I can go to physical therapy or something, and they work on the pain, the massage therapists work on the pain, and that goes away, and then these other pains pop up. Well, they've always been there, they're just not overshadowed by that stress. So here again, you take that overshadowing tightness out by using a prop, using your ruck, resting into it, and now I can lean down into the hip, keep my hip square, but I can lean down into it and get that much better stretch, more effective for me and your body, of course. It'll vary from person to person, but I'm giving you my personal view here. So, same on the other side. This is a challenging way. I'll move that pack back against where my glute's going to be. And I come down, tuck that leg in for Pigeon. And I'm reaching back with my glute. And scooch back a little bit. And then bring it up to me. Now I'm just touching it now, and I rest back into that. Now I can open up the front of that hip, keeping the shoulders wide, head's lifted, and it's a really nice, effective pigeon pose. Might not be exactly textbook as far as worthy of Instagram or anything like that, but it is, and it's really effective and works for me. So, another thing on spacing, as we stay on the ground, right there, hit the knee, so you can get that spacing, wider spacing, if you want, or what your body allows, and bring it closer, and just use it as a gauge. A block, this is better than a block for me for this. And get the forward fold like I showed before, come over to the side, or the other side, works really well. Even something as basic as windshield wipers, you should be able to see this hopefully. If I'm dropping the knees down to the side, I got them resting against. If it's too short, I push it out a little bit, get a little more stretch in there, or in the other side. Actually, I'll use my little one on this one and go down this side. Okay. And of course, hopefully I'm still in camera view because I can't see there, but using the ruck as a pillow, the prop there for Savasana, which is really relaxing for me, taking that pressure off the neck. Usually takes about me a couple minutes or so to where I can relax my neck all the way down, and this is a good interim measure so I can relax. Move it a little bit lower. Oops. Pull out some more until I can eventually, I'm not there yet, get all the way down to the mat. But if I can't get all the way down on that, just set that trusty Ruck underneath the neck and relax. Well, that's what I wanted to share with you this week. I think we might have one more Sunday for this going on, but thanks for giving me the time and working through some of my technical issues. But use this as you need, or don't. But whatever it is, if you do nothing else, pay attention to what's in your ruck. Get rid of what you don't need, and keep what you need. And if you see someone else carrying a burden that needs you can lighten their load, please do so. Help them out, help your brother out, help your sister out. Lighten their load. There's been a bunch of songs written about that, but it is a good thing. There's a bunch of scripture on that too. But it is the right thing and a good thing to do. It makes you feel better. It doesn't weigh you down anymore, and it lightens their load and lifts someone's day. So look for that opportunity to do sometime. Thanks for joining me. Namaste.